Hey everybody, welcome to the Power Living with Purpose podcast with David C. Henderson, and this is the Power Finances segment. Today's topic is Americans, please stop giving your kids broke parents for Christmas. Let's talk about it. All right, now, every year, the amount of money Americans spend on Christmas grows. And this year is estimated that $1 trillion will be spent on Christmas. And most of that on Christmas presents. Now, with so many Americans still out of work or having financial struggles this year, that may be a little short, with the pandemic and everything. But as of last year, Americans spent on average $900 per person. $900. Crazy, right? Okay, now I assume that accounts all Americans, all spending, all that. But still, the problem, I believe that number does sound a little high, but the problem is this. Numerous studies and surveys estimate that as of 2020, in the so-called wealthiest country on earth, nearly 80%, 8 out of 10 Americans live paycheck to paycheck, and 60% do not have $400 in savings for an emergency fund without having to borrow the money or use a credit card. And it's also estimated that 1 in every 5 children are food insecure. So basically, in the United States, it's only the rich people that are really doing well. Everybody else is just trying to look like it. All right, and if you've been now, another thing is that yes, ever since for the last 300 years or so, the United States economy has been designed for the rich to get richer and the poor to get poorer, while everyone else in the middle just works their eyeballs out until they're 60 or in their 60s or 70s just to survive and have enough to retire. And that's because the top 10% make 90% of the money consistently, while the 90% of people who go to work only end up with 10% of the money. But don't hate the player, learn the game. All right, now, and that's what we're going to be talking about here on this podcast. The only way this wealth gap in America is ever going to change permanently is for everyone to start saving more, spending less, starting a home-based business or a small business or a side hustle or investing in other people, building your credit, owning a home, buying real estate if you can. And everyone should be investing in the stock market, even if it's $5 a week. You can use Cash App, Robinhood, E-Trade, whatever. Most of the big name companies, Zoom, Tesla, Microsoft, not Microsoft, but Zoom, Tesla, a lot of other ones, some of them are up 500% this year. Some companies, I think Novavax is up 1,000% this year. All the ETFs are up 20, 30, 40% this year in a pandemic because people had extra money. They weren't going out. They put it in the stock market. So anybody can make money in the stock market, and you can just start with $1 at a time. Now, back to because over the course, the stock market started in 1792, and ever since 1792, it's been consistently going up. Even after the Great Depression, it came on back. It bounced back and kept on going up. Even after the dot-com boom in the 2000s, Great Recession, even when it bounced down, it eventually comes back up. So back to the topic at hand. For people living paycheck to paycheck, when you overspend money in one area, typically you're gonna be like, well, I guess I ain't got money for this now. You ain't gonna know how to pay this or this that because you spent too much money in one area. And most time that's not extra money. That was money you should have not spent. But if 60% of Americans don't have an emergency fund and 80% of us are living paycheck to paycheck and layoffs can happen at any time, especially now, then doesn't that make you think, doesn't that make spending too much money on Christmas seem pretty ridiculous? Yes, but plenty of us are still going to do it. Now, what's going to happen when January bills come around and your money is short because you spent money on Christmas? What's the typical solution? Well, I guess I'm going to have to go on down here to this payday loan place and go ahead, or go on down to this title loan place, or go on down to this installment loan place, or I'll see what I can put on this credit card and all this and everything. And then But then we're not even talking about the people that took out loans before Christmas to spend all of that money on Christmas, and now you got another bill coming in for the next 12 to 24 months, because just because you wanted to buy more stuff. All right, now the bottom line is that all of this is because of America. One of America's biggest problems: keeping up with the Joneses. The saying is true: rich people stay rich by acting poor, and poor people stay poor by acting rich. All right. And the ones, you remember that song with Lil Wayne? Look at you, now look at us, all my niggas rich as, okay, well, rich as F, but 99% of us can't relate to that. 90 to 99% of us can't relate to that. So why we walking around trying to look rich when we're not? So anyway, that's why 70% of people who win the lottery end up going broke, and 60 to 75% of professional athletes end up broke or struggling financially within 5 years of retirement. Why? Because most Americans don't understand the principles of building, managing, and maintaining wealth. Selective sacrifice, saving, investing, diversifying, but most importantly, not overspending. Come on, people. All right, so for Christmas, most people think that other people were going to be buying their kids a lot of stuff for Christmas, right? Friends, family, and all that. And so they feel like they have to do it. But here's the problem. 80% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck and don't have and 60% don't have savings. So most people are going to either go into debt or jeopardize their January budget by overspending on Christmas. Personally, I'm the son of a lawyer and a veterinarian, and I went to public school and private school, and I was in sports and all type of other programs. So I had friends and teammates and classmates that ranged from the kids from the projects to some of the richest families in our city. And you know what was so strange that I noticed and I still notice today? The families with the least amount of money spend more percentage-wise than the families who have more money. The kids that don't have the money got the name brand stuff, when the families who do have money just got the regular stuff. Why? Because they're saving money. They don't have to prove it. They don't have to look rich because they are actually rich. So, or well-to-do. Now, do you know what the main problem is when we buy kids too much stuff for Christmas? You don't want your children to feel poor at Christmas. Okay. Even though they've been living poor all year, 11 months out of the year, 11 and a half months out of the year, they've been living poor. This makes no sense. I know. Okay, kids are going to talk about what they got for Christmas. Most time, when they're out of school for Christmas, they're not going to go back to January. And then after that, other stuff is going to come. They're going to talk about it. Yeah, I got this, I got that. Okay, after that, about a week later, they're back to me and kids. Who cares? Okay, within a month or two, half of that stuff is going to either be broke or too small to wear or messed up anyway. And then they're going to be asking for more stuff. And some of that stuff is what they actually need. But then they got to go back to living poor, and you living paycheck to paycheck because you spent too much on Christmas. And then what do? You turn around to make yourself feel good, and when you get your tax refund, now you're going to buy more stuff, and you're going to buy yourself more stuff, and that's all gone, and it happens year after year after year after year after year. Now, if I apologize for your toes, if I'm stepping on your toes, good. I don't apologize but you'll be all right. Just ball your toes up at the bottom of your shoes. Like women who wear shoes that are too small, they do it all the time. You can do it too. You'll be fine. You will survive. All right. But here's the thing. Unless you've been saving money all year, or unless your job gives you a Christmas bonus, then your December budget is the same as your January through your November budget, right? Yes. Okay. So how is it possible for those same kids who all year been eating mayonnaise sandwiches and ketchup sandwiches and ramen noodles and drinking sugar water, or the ones that live in a little bit nicer neighborhoods, look like they have a little money, but whose parents are in debt up to their eyeballs and they're one paycheck away from losing it all? All of a sudden, Christmas comes, we got Hot Wheels and bikes and Xboxes and PlayStations and Jordans and Gucci shirts and all this stuff. And it's all because of one of the number one problems with America, and that's unnecessary debt. Okay, keeping up with the Joneses, even though 80% of the Joneses are just as broke as you, and they're living paycheck to paycheck. All the studies have shown over the last 100 years that Only, and as well as the last 200-300 years, mostly the top 10% of Americans have the money because they know how to make it and save it. So overspending hurts you in the present and in the future, but most importantly, this is what's most important, it hurts your children's future. Look at the long-term effects. Okay, you have a child or children, and for the first 18 years of their lives, you spend everything you make. You don't have any savings, you don't have any investments, and when they turn 18, they move out with nothing, and because they learn their financial principles from you, the cycle continues for them and their children, and they grow up the same way. Everything they make, they spend it. They don't know about building credit, they don't know about building wealth, and it's because we have to start a trend of doing things the right way. So parents, there is no Christmas gift, not one, that you can give your child that is better than being financially stable for them 12 months out of the year, having some savings, having some investments, and good credit. That way, instead of just memories of some stuff that's gonna get broken over the years, getting your kids stuff you couldn't even afford anyway, you'll have money for programs and opportunities and traveling and the financial stability that can help them start off their adult life with something in their pocket, in the bank, or an asset. Now, and if you do that, you know what that's called? That's called power living. We're gonna get to it. Stay powerful, my friends.